Welcome back to another episode of the Nick Cage Fight podcast, where that's us in the corner. That's us in the spotlight, losing our religion. I'm one of your hosts, Josh, joined as always by Rich and Ryan to wrap up Season of the Witch. And that's 2 music intro jokes in a row. How do you guys feel about that?
I think you should enter hard mode and just do everything as a music intro, but it should only be 80s new wave.
Yeah, I might not be able to pull that one off.
I believe in you.
I mean, just listen to a bunch of it in excess for a while.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. If we're good to, we can just jump right back into it. Last time we left our Christians, they were trying to get over a rickety ass bridge with a heavy ass wagon prison, right?
The cage.
A cage. Yep. So after they bring the horses across the other side, what they do is they rig up a rope to the back of the wagon so that it just doesn't go barreling across and sort of settle in the middle of this rickety rope bridge. And they have the priest and Felson and is that it? Oh, and Hagamar manning this rope that's wrapped around a tree. And Kay and Bayman are taking up the yoke that the horses would be attached to otherwise for the wagon. This goes poorly. Essentially, the weight of the wagon tears the rope from the hands of the gentleman trying to steady its passage across the bridge. The ropes making up the bridge look like they're ready to snap. The priest gets a terrible rope burn on his hands,
which I felt so hard when I was watching this because I burned the shit out of my hand on Wednesday, and yeah, it's not pleasant.
No, rope burns are not pleasant. And so the planks are coming out of the bottom of the bridge. Bayman and Kay both get knocked off the bridge at one point, holding onto the ropes to get themselves back up. Except in Kay's case, it looks like he is going to fall to his certain demise. And the witch lady in the back of the cart grabs him and lifts him up with one hand. This girl's got some strength.
She's been doing some reps.
Yeah. So they just barely manage to get the wagon across before the bridge collapses entirely. The priest has really genuinely fucked up his hands from the rope thing. They pour some liquor on it, I think, at this point. I'm not sure if this is the exact scene, but they bandage it up.
Probably aqua vitae. It was like a distilled liquor primarily used for medicinal purposes around this time.
Oh, what'd they distill it from?
It was like I want to say potato based, and then they added herbs that had medicinal qualities. Generally not meant for drinking, usually used to clean wounds, that type of thing.
Did monks make it, or was it sort of like an everyman?
It would have been made by monks.
My favorite liquor made by monks is chartreuse, which you guys both got to try the chartreuse swizzle that I made.
Yeah, I sure
excellent.
did.
Oh, that was
it was
stuff.
Delicious. Also, I assume that in the 1400s, monks made everything.
I mean, almost all of the alcohol except for beer, which was, I mean, they made beer, yes, but there was a large home brewing culture in a lot of different European countries, especially Britain. Like a lot of public houses were pretty much just, we brew beer here, you can come and drink it.
So you're saying the microbrew fad is not new, it's in fact incredibly old?
Yes.
Shit don't change, man.
Shit don't change.
They just changed the label.
So Hagamar informs the party that they have made it to the Wormwood Forest. And the forest is foggy. It's making the going quite rough. So they decide to camp on the road and wait out the fog. Bayman talks to the witch again, and at this point, it's really starting to seem like this lady is doing some witchy shit. I'm not saying that she's for sure a witch at this point in time, but it is most certainly suspicious. A lot more suspicious than I felt about it early on in the film. So Bayman wakes in the middle of the night, and he sees Hagamar peeking into the witch wagon with a loaded crossbow in his hand. When confronted, Hagamar says, look, she's definitely a witch. She's definitely, picking us off. That's why Eckhart died. We should just absolutely kill her so no more of us die on this trip. And Felson shows up and disarms him And at this point in time, they hear howling, ominous howling in the distance. So the men circle up and they prepare to be attacked by a pack of wolves. The wolves do seem to be being controlled in some fashion by the witch. We get some more bad CGI in this where they're like normal wolves, but then they look like scary bad CGI wolves, like right before they attack. I don't really understand the logic behind that. Like wolves are scary. They're scary things. I don't see the need to CGI up their faces.
Yeah, you don't got to make
Personally.
them scarier. It's
Yeah, that was
already
unnecessary. But there is a there's a connection since wolves were considered occasionally witches' familiars.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so that does kind of make sense for why they would have and some kind of a connection with the witch.
All right, wolves and witches. Well, I guess W words
Yeah,
stick
yeah.
together. So we do get actually a pretty. I thought the initial wolf fight scene was pretty cool. You know, we got Felson and Bayman swinging their swords very capably. Kay doing some work as well, and Hagamar pretty handy with the crossbow. So it's a relatively neat fight scene. But after they repel part of the pack, there's more howling, so they mount up very quickly and start racing down the road. Hagamar gets just taken clean off the back of his horse by a leaping witch wolf, and then gets torn apart by wolves. So rest in peace, Hagamar. You seem pretty cool and funny, but
you weren't meant for this movie.
yeah, too pure for this world.
Also, an important part that I think that you kind of just glossed over, but by saying that like she controlled the wolves, like she's straight up howling at the wolves and they're responding. So like, okay, 100% a witch at this point. Absolutely, this is a witch. Let's get a killing.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's really up for debate any longer. So Bayman at this point is convinced that the girl is a witch and considers killing her himself, but the priest stops him, and then Felson stops him. The priest, because they need to do the Jesus words, or else it's not going to fix the plague. And Felson, because he points and he's like, "Look, the abbey's right over there. We can see it now." They're like, "Oh, okay, all right. Well, we'll go to the abbey then." So they ride up to the abbey and knock at the big abbey door, and no one answers. So they have Kay climb in through the gateway and unbar the door and let them in. As they travel into the main structure of the abbey, because the priest says that the monks would be in vespers at the time. Was that the terminology used?
I believe so.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what that means.
Evening prayer.
There you go. So they go into the main building in the abbey, and it looks like all of the monks have died of the plague. One of the monks seems to gives a bit of a noise in the middle of, I think, the priest reciting the Lord's Prayer, and points them to the Book of Solomon, the special book with all the Jesus spells in it. So they take the book out, and the priest that is traveling with them seems to think that he can perform the ritual himself. And so they go out to the witch cage, and the priest starts reciting the ritual. The witch makes the priest's hand wounds break open and bleed again. The witch taunts Bayman by quoting word for word some of the lines from the Jesus Hype Man that Bayman listened to every time he went into battle to slaughter women and children in the name of the Crusades. At this point in time, the priest comes to a realization and says that this is not a witch. So he quickly flips through the spell book to a different spell for whatever she is, which is not immediately revealed. And he starts this new ritual. The witch starts summoning winds, which starts rocking the wagon. And then she grabs the bars and they start glowing with heat. And then we get a CGI transformation as she turns into some kind of monster lady as the bars of the cage melt around her. She absolutely bodies Bayman and Felson, and the priest hits her with some holy water. She grows wings and then flies up further into the abbey. We get a classic Jaws reference here where the priest says they're going to need more holy water. We're going to need a bigger holy water. So the boys go into the abbey and they start gathering supplies to fight what we learn is a demon, not a witch. It's a demon. We had a full-on possession, exorcist style situation going on here. Bayman tells Kay that he's not going to come with them to fight the demon, and Kay vehemently opposes this. So Bayman's like, all right, fine, fuck it, and knights him. And so as the boys talk, they realize the demon could have escaped at any point. I mean, she melted directly through that cage quite simply. And they come to the conclusion that everything that the demon has done over the course of their journey seemed to have had the express purpose of getting her to the abbey. And they realized that the monks in this abbey were making copies of the Book of Solomon. That was the transcription scene that we see in the beginning of the film. And that the demon wants to destroy all of the books and all of the copies so that nobody can banish them. So you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But it actually doesn't at all. This is complete nonsensical bullshit. The demon could have flown here. And all the monks are already dead of the plague, and she wouldn't have had any enemies in there with her as she went about destroying all the books. So I don't fucking get it.
I mean,
It's
it's a plot hole. I'm assuming that has to do with the reshoots that they did because the studio was not happy with the original cut of the film.
I mean, but you could fix it with one line. Like,
yeah.
Shit, like the demon couldn't have gotten into the abbey unless brought into the abbey by a priest or something like that. Make like vampire rules, like couldn't cross the threshold herself. But they did use the explanation like Eckhart was going to free her, so he had to go. Hagamar wanted to kill her before they got to the place, so he had to go. Shit like that. So the demon appears at this point and thanks them for bringing it to the book. The priest continues his banishing incantation, and the demon just starts throwing bookcases at them and lights copies of the book on fire with its mind. And then Felsen looks around and realizes that all of the dead monks have disappeared. Uh-oh. And we see the dead monks are now undead monks, and they're all trying to kill the priest to stop the ritual, and generally, like, kill all of the guys trying to stop them. They climb up the walls. This is more bad CGI, but
this is definitely something that I think we've mentioned previously. This how different this would be if it was a Sam Raimi joint. He could have put some good stink on this.
Oh yeah, especially yes, this scene. So the boys fight them, and Bayman discovers that cutting off their heads defeats them. So it becomes a game of trying to keep the undead monks from getting to the priest and stopping him from finishing the ritual. Decent-ish fight scenes here, even with all the nonsense CGI going on. Like I said, the shots of Cage and Perlman hitting things with swords, it's fun. It's very entertaining. I wish they didn't cram as much of it into the beginning and spread it out a little bit more. But
I
the
also
beginning
wish
montage,
it was shot a little better too. Like the way the fight scenes are shot kind of has that Michael Bay cut for every impact kind of shit, which I'm just not that into. I prefer a little further back for your framing, and let some of those impacts actually breathe a little bit. But that's just a personal preference.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
And the other thing I noticed, usually when they do those quick cuts and fight scenes, it's to cover up bad choreography. But
absolutely, yeah.
You don't have to worry about choreography as much in like sword fight scenes as you do with like hand-to-hand combat. Some of that shit is harder to pull off. So I agree with you. I don't know why they made the choices that they did directorial wise with how these were shot, but it was still entertaining enough in my opinion.
Yeah, I just enjoyed that it turned into a zombie film pretty quickly.
Yeah, no complaints here, honestly, other than the ones about the filmmaking.
Yeah, like the camera cuts. As somebody who watches pro wrestling, WWE does this too much, where if you have somebody, standing there throwing punches at somebody, every time the punch lands, they cut to a different camera, and it's frankly nauseating.
I watch a shit ton of kung fu movies, and just watch some like 70s kung fu and you'll realize how much better fight choreography and fight cinematography can be.
Yeah. But also kung fu movies take that shit kind of seriously.
Not always. Sometimes they're just having fun.
That's fair enough. But in this, I think sometimes directors treat fights as something that they have to shoot around as opposed to trying to do it any sort of real justice, which is kind of a shame.
Yeah.
But anyway, at some point in the fight, one of the monks drops down from a ceiling or a bookcase and stabs Felsen in the back. And then Felson quickly dispatches the monk. And then at this point, the demon drops down and just snaps the priest's neck and attempts to take the book, but it burns its fingers. So Bayman jumps in to confront the demon, and it pins him to a column and starts to choke him out. So things are looking pretty dire for Bayman. Felson's been stabbed in the back. Kay is fending off a number of zombie monks. And the priest is unceremoniously had his head spun around, by the demon. Looking pretty bleak, but Felson comes out of nowhere and pulls the demon off of Bayman and headbutts him a few times. But the demon wraps him up in his arms and then his wings and basically burns him. I guess the inside of a demon's wings are like a super easy bake oven because Perlman gets burnt to a crisp, and poor Felson is no more.
I thought this was actually shot kind of well. I thought this was very cool.
If you look closely on the inside of his wings, you'll see 400-watt light bulbs that assist with the cooking.
Yeah, those things get real hot. You gotta watch it. So at this point, we only have two members of the troop left alive, and that is Bayman and Kay. And Kay grabs the book to attempt to finish the ritual.
Now, this kind of threw me for a loop. Is it established that he could read Latin prior to this?
I assume he seemed like a pious fellow. So, and like he also seemed like educated, because normally when in like the medieval times, if you're fighting in these tournaments, you're probably the son of someone who matters. Like, you're not like a peasant. So he's probably educated. He probably does know how to read Latin.
That's fair.
And remember, he was introduced in the story as being part of like the cardinal's sort of coterie, right?
Oh, I must have missed that. Okay.
Yes. So that's why he was following them, because he was in the room with diseased Christopher Lee.
Okay, yeah. I got you.
Yeah, and Christopher Lee's character's death was, I guess, the driving factor for Kay to leave where he was and to try and travel with Felson and Bayman in the first place.
You keep saying Felson, and I keep thinking of The Hustler, like Fast Eddie Felson.
I'm having that problem too, because I just watched The Hustler and The Color of Money recently.
They are both excellent films.
Preferred The Hustler, not gonna lie, preferred The Hustler.
Hustler's probably my favorite movie of all time, but Color of Money's no slouch.
No, it's very good. I'm sorry, we're talking about The Hustler. Continue.
No, it's okay. We're running out of plot road relatively quickly, so we're gonna need to up the asides regardless. Because at this point, Kay is trying to finish the ritual, and the demon, of course, goes to attack him, and Bayman stops him, pins him to the wall with some daggers, kind of a little bit of a crucifix imagery going on here in the way he tries to pin the demon to the wall. But the demon's got these spikes on his wings, and
it's dope as shit.
Yeah, and he just stabs the shit out of Bayman repeatedly with these wing spikes.
Honestly, the coolest supernatural shit of the whole movie, in my opinion.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the bad CGI of the demon aside, like its impact on the fight scene was pretty well done. So Kay manages to finish the last line of the incantation, and the demon starts burning and bursting with light before disappearing in a blast of very bad CGI. This next scene was a little bit funny to me because all that is left on the floor after the demon disappears is the girl that the demon was possessing, and she appears to be naked.
She's so moist.
Yeah, she appears to be naked and covered in what I can only assume to be hand sanitizer.
Sticky ectoplasm.
It really gave me vibes of the Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode where Frank shaves himself.
Oh my god, he just wants to be pure.
Yes, and covers himself in hand sanitizer. Honestly, if you put those two shots side by side, you'll see what I'm saying.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
But the other funny thing is, so we cut away from her and we cut to Bayman, who appears to have sustained some pretty mortal wounds, and Kay goes to him, and Bayman tells Kay to keep the girl safe. And then we cut back to the girl, and she's no longer covered in hand sanitizer. She looks completely dried off.
I mean, it got absorbed into her skin.
Yeah, I don't know if that's is demon goo like a good moisturizer?
I'm assuming.
I guess so.
Maybe.
It seems that way.
But Bayman and the girl share a very brief moment locking eyes before Bayman unfortunately expires. And so the next scene that we get is Kay putting the finishing touches on a cairn of stones. This one is for Felson. He says a couple of brief words for him. And then the camera pans out, and we see that the girl is standing by another cairn, and this is Bayman's. Their swords are stabbed down into the piles of stones, and the girl speaks to the cairn, saying that her name is Anna and that she owes Bayman her life. Kay helps her mount a horse, and they depart. And then we get a close-up shot to show that Kay has the Book of Solomon in one of his saddlebags. And then we get a little bit of narration from Anna that says, the plague passed after this, and she is going to spread the story, the tale of the deeds of Bayman and Felson. And then the credits roll. So we have a lot of time to talk down this movie, which I'm kind of glad we do, because we've had a couple of rough movies in a row.
Yeah, we have.
And this one was genuinely fun. I wouldn't say it's the best movie.
I'd say I had about as much fun watching this as I did Firebirds.
This was way more fun than Firebirds for me.
I mean, this is definitely more up your alley, but
yes.
I think Firebirds definitely had its charms. This movie does too. It was good. It's wildly anachronistic and ahistorical, but fun.
Yeah, I was saying I would prefer this to probably about 50% of like the current Marvel movies out there.
Oh, totally. Yeah. You were saying in the group chat that you wished they made like fucking 5 more of these, and absolutely. Like, we could actually get a sequel to this if they wanted to do a prequel about, Bayman and Folsom, doing crusade shit prior to this.
Yes, I would watch the shit out of this.
I would too. I honestly, when it occurred to me that this was just a buddy cop movie, but with crusaders instead of cops, I was like, that is genuinely a good idea. That's a good idea. I thought it was funny. Perlman, like I said, is incredibly charming. I like him in everything I've seen him in. And I do have to comment our boy a little bit. I thought Cage's performance was a little bit wooden in most of this. That is just my personal opinion.
I agree. I didn't like his accent that much, but his hair was on point.
He had very good Cage hair, but this definitely was a Ron Perlman movie.
Yeah,
I agree.
That just had Nick Cage in it.
I also wish we got more Christopher Lee. I wish we had like a little bit more establishing of that character, but I think what they did have got the job done.
I agree.
The prosthetics they used to make him look super plagued up were grotesque and effective.
They reminded me of a graphic novel I read recently, Alejandro Jodorowsky and Milo Manara's The Borgia, about the history of the Borgia family in Italy. There's a really fucked up plague-ridden pope in that's kind of got like a similar vibe going on. And he's like drinking virgin boy blood to keep fucking young and shit like that.
Ugh. That sounds cool though. I kind of want to
love that virgin boy blood.
It's good. I got the hardcover if you want to borrow it.
Yeah, I might have to.
I'm just gonna have to like hand you a care package of comics.
Well, speaking of comics and other things that you can purchase with money, I think it's time to run a couple of ads, maybe for comics, maybe for Virgin Boy Blood. If we click the illegal ads option, that
those
might be
are
on.
Those are on. So
I'm excited to see what illegal ads are going to show up in these episodes.
It's probably just like, I don't know, like, hey, do you want to own a Bitcoin farm in Nigeria? Like, that's probably what it's going to be.
It's either that or like advertising for jobs in the cannabis industry, since that is still technically federally illegal.
Or it'll be like dick pills from China, like made from like husk.
Fucking gas station dick pills. Don't take the gas station dick pills. Don't.
Who are those for?
Truckers.
Like okay, that makes sense. I was gonna say the only thing more disturbing than seeing the names of those pills like on the display behind the cash register is seeing the empty packaging in a parking lot. Just like,
oh my god, yeah, no,
God.
that's what I mean. It's got to be truckers because
What
who else is
happened
doing
here
that shit?
is always what my question is.
Truckers and lot lizards.
That's a lot lizards. Another fun Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode with Tom Sizemore, our favorite actor in the USS Indianapolis film.
I watched Heat this week and I forgot that he was in that until I was watching it.
Oh,
He's
I
pretty good in it.
didn't know he was. I forgot he was in it too.
Yeah, Heat's a fucking banger if you haven't seen it in a minute.
I haven't seen it since like 2006. So yeah.
Oh, rewatch that movie.
I have
Not
to
a-
rewatch that one too.
Absolutely no wasted motion in that whole film.
Yeah, I'm gonna check. I'll recheck that out.
But yeah, good friend of the pod, Tom Sizemore. So yeah, so listen to some ads. Maybe there will be an ad for Tom Sizemore dick pills. Who knows? They don't
There's
seem-
something there.
They don't
something
seem to
there.
respect copyright rules or anything like that. With those,
If you have
things, so-
size less, you need size more.
Oh shit, we got to reach out to his agent and pitch a nootropic scheme to him for a very small finder's fee. I think we could probably make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have your face on something to make money today.
It's just him smiling and giving a thumbs up on the packaging.
Yeah, that's all you need.
That would be perfect. They would sell like crazy to truckers and lot lizards.
Somebody's getting split open like a coconut.
Just make them like a mailbox. But before the other ads roll, let's plug our own stuff. We have a Patreon, of course, with good stuff.
Patreon.com/Nick Cage Fight. The first 5 people to sign up will send gas station dick pills to, I guess.
Oh yeah, and maybe for Rich's penance, if we get a certain number of subscribers, we'll make him take gas station dick pills. We'll have him do a rating episode. We'll have to
Do a
try-
top 10 gas station dick pills
Yep.
episode.
Oh,
We'll make a
no.
new spreadsheet with like side effects.
No.
This one just made my heart hurt.
I am in not good enough health to be doing this.
Yeah. Honestly, as funny as the idea is, I do not want to contribute to your accidental death from taking weird, unregulated dick pills. From...
Look, I will take like one set of gas station dick pills and just write about the experience. I don't know if I could do it 10 days in a row.
Yeah, I don't think that's even right. I don't even think they recommend it on the packaging, and the things on those packaging is again subject to no overview by anybody with any sort of medical degree.
No,
So,
they're all made in Utah where shit doesn't matter.
Oh,
yeah.
so they're marital aids.
Yeah, but so are the dildos in Target.
Correct.
Oh, is that what they're marketed as? Marital
Yeah.
aids?
Yeah, that's why they like sell them. And it's like they're like nice dildos too. I'm just saying.
All
Target's
right,
got
well,
some-
listen
Target's
to
got some
these
good
ads about
dildos.
dildos real quick, and we'll be right back.
Because here at Target we have the dildos.
Oh my goodness. Now I feel like doing some research into gas station dick pills because I'm very curious what is in them besides some like one molecule off from like cocaine. You know what I mean? So it's not technically a class 1 drug.
I am asking DuckDuckGo right now what's in gas station dick pills.
I'm also doing the same thing.
Gas station sex pills, do they really work? From the private gym.
I found an article on Men's Health that says I tested out 5 gas station dick pills. They almost destroyed my body.
Well, that's a glowing recommendation if I've ever heard one.
Absolutely.
Rich, you gotta
Oh.
see if there's any 5-star dick pill ratings.
Oh, God. For the fun of taking a survey as a doctor, blah blah blah. Out of 100 doctors, how many do you think would say it's a good idea? The answer: none. Not a single one. The claims are ridiculous, and symptoms and side effects are even worse. Low blood pressure, visual disturbances or loss of vision, hearing loss.
Wait. You could go blind? Is it just sterno in those things?
It's mercury.
Hearing loss, headaches, gastric pain, chest pain, heavy metal poisoning.
Jesus, just cadmium pills.
I guess I think I found is the person who did this, Ryan, is his name Ben Greenfield?
Maybe.
He was like because he was a writer for Men's Health magazine, personally tested many supplements and wrote about what they made him feel like. His experience here, while many of the promises aren't even close to accurate, but some of them are, and for not the reasons you may think.
Yeah, that was that dude.
Oh my god. Yeah, everything I'm seeing on the internet says do not take these dick pills.
I mean, I could have told you that.
Yeah, I feel like that seemed very obvious, but it was one of those things where it's like it seemed so obvious I never thought to look into it any further. But I am now genuinely curious what they stuff in those things that make it even semi-legal for them to sell. Because like I said, I've never seen them to adhere to or respect copyright or intellectual property laws at all.
Proprietary blend, baby.
Oh, there you go. Don't have to tell anybody anything that's in it. It's just like I said, it's just sawdust and cadmium. Apparently,
yeah, that's what like when you buy
At least one of these gave that dude projectile diarrhea.
Ooh.
So you know, if you got to get regular, that might be an option.
There's a very good documentary that was made in like 2006 called Bigger, Faster, Stronger. That was a look at like the steroid industry as well as like the over-the-counter like weightlifting supplements. And the case he was making was like steroids are bad, but at least you know what you're getting. And then he goes on for like 45 minutes about like the over-the-counter, like what you buy at Vitamin Shop and why everything is listed as a proprietary blend because it's all made in Utah where you can do that. And most of these like pills that are like pre-workouts are just creatine. With then they spike it with caffeine.
Well, yeah,
it's speed. You're taking speed.
That's all like pre-workout and stuff. All of that shit is basically just caffeine and creatine. So, I mean, but at least that has some scientific basis as far as like protein uptake and shit like that. I guess I'm not particularly overly knowledgeable about that stuff.
Yeah, but my favorite thing you could buy at Vitamin Shop, at least you could like 10 years ago, you can just get straight caffeine pills with like 110 milligrams of caffeine. I'm like, oh, they're just selling Black Beauties over the counter now, aren't they?
Good old trucker speed.
I remember when speed was hard to get? Not anymore.
So the episode description is going to be just the one where we talk about dick pills for a really long time, right?
Yeah.
It's like the Friends episodes. Yeah.
The plot ran out real quick at the end because it was all like quick action sequences, and there's only so many ways to describe undead priests getting beheaded. I know that sounds like a challenge that we would usually take up with gusto, but really it's just a bunch of undead monks getting their heads chopped off, which is really cool, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's great radio, you know?
No.
Yeah.
But speaking of dick pills,
that's good radio, baby.
Speaking of dick pills, though, we can talk about the next Nick Cage movie.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I don't know why those two things, you know.
Yeah, is the next one we're watching about dick pills?
I don't know. We're about to find out. Hang on. All right. Hang on. It's Pay the Ghost. Is Pay the Ghost about dick pills?
No, Pay the Ghost.
Is the ghost his dick?
No, the ghost is the gas station attendant that you're paying for the dick pills.
Oh, but I have some good news about Pay the Ghost. 94-minute runtime.
Ooh.
Yeah, so, that's not bad, but the rest of it is.
Oh, have you seen this, Josh?
All right, so here's the thing. I've tried to see this a couple of times. I've never succeeded.
Okay.
Because I've fallen asleep. And I'm not one of those guys that falls asleep during films. It's bad. It's not particularly entertaining. And oh my God, this director is a German director, and I don't think I am familiar with any of his work. The Bader Meinhof Complex.
He did direct an episode of Twin Peaks.
Oh, really?
Oh,
okay.
Really? Interesting. I need to
Okay.
know which one that is.
And
He directed
an
The
episode of
Little
Oz.
Vampire. I liked that movie when I was a child.
Okay,
I-
one of his the Bader Meinhof complex is a look at Germany's terrorist group, the Red Army faction, which organized bombings, robberies, kidnappings, assassinations in the 60s
Oh
and
no,
70s.
he directed one of the bad stretch of Twin Peaks episodes.
He also directed a TV film about Rasputin.
Oh, the King of Texas?
Oh, he directed a TV miniseries adaptation of The Mists of Avalon, a fantasy novel no one should read because the woman that wrote it is a monster.
Hold on, this can't be bad though. I mean, the
He
Rasputin
directed an
movie.
episode of Oz.
I saw that.
Oh,
This
he directed
Rasputin-
Last Exit to Brooklyn. That movie's actually good.
This Rasputin movie has Alan Rickman and Ian McKellen in it. It can't be bad.
That can't be bad.
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure. Again, I've fallen asleep through it, so maybe it takes a hard turn and becomes good, but I don't know.
Oh, he did Body of Evidence. I think that's supposed to be good. I don't think I've seen that though.
I don't know. I mean, I don't. Because I say, oh, it's direct
Okay,
DVD, it's going to be bad, but then like Between
it's
Worlds
a
happened.
Defoe. It's Defoe and Madonna in that. Okay, I might actually have to see Body of Evidence.
Yeah, no, the writers have very few credits. The one did the screenplay, and then the other one was responsible for the novella that the screenplay was based on. Not a lot of credits overall. You have to tune into the episode where we do the full rundown of housekeeping, but I don't know, guys. Like I said, having seen some of it, I don't recall it being any good at all, but we'll see. Look,
The chick who played Lori Grimes in The Walking Dead is in this.
mm-hmm.
I don't recognize any of the other actors other than Nick Cage, so that's a sign.
So the woman did a bunch of
Yeah.
German films. Oh man, this might be bad, guys. This might be bad.
Yeah, this one might suck shit. Okay.
I do like what some of these
Oh, there's a mid-credit scene though.
I like what some of these actors are credited as the roles. There's Blind Man, Angry Villager #1, Sexy Coed.
On the Wikipedia, it's sexy female student wearing horns.
Ooh.
A little bit more descriptive there.
Ice cream vendor. That's
Singing
important.
Lost Child. Witch.
Ghost Annie.
Ghoul. Ghost character / homeless character.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, you got to diversify your bonds.
You got to go with Wu-Tang Financial.
You got to go with Wu-Tang Financial. It's for the children. It's the cinematographer from Whiplash, so it's at least going to be interesting to look at, probably.
I love Whiplash.
Yeah.
My God, I'm in the meantime, I'm looking up like more facts about Season of the Witch, and it apparently took 11 fucking years to get to the screen after they made it. It bounced from MGM to Columbia and then Relativity on
I
its.
think that's just its history as a spec script, not.
Yeah, I was gonna
it was
say
shot
that-
then.
That did not look like 2000 Nick Cage. That looked like 2010 Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it said he took the movie because he became interested in playing like more supernatural movies after doing The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Which cool.
Cool, good old Cage. He's been in some. Listen, everything that led him to do Between Worlds is good.
This is objectively true.
I do like one of the fun facts is this is not a remake of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
I was gonna shout out Halloween 3 at some point, and thank you for reminding me. That movie is my favorite Halloween film. I don't like any of the ones with Michael Myers in it. I think they're boring as shit. But Season of the Witch whips ass.
Well, he's boring except for like his entrance music. His entrance music is fun.
Yeah, but that's because fucking John Carpenter is one of the greatest synth masters of all time.
I'm not gonna lie. I have a very, very soft spot for all of the classic slashers, including the Halloween films. I think it was 4 and 5, the one where they have the young girl who ended up getting the actress got cast in Rob Zombie's Halloween films, and for a very, very brief moment, that actress, whose name is escaping me right now, had more appearances in Halloween films than Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, interesting. It's been a minute since I've watched those. Maybe I need to do a reappraisal, but I just remember not fucking liking any of them other than Season of the Witch, and that's the stupid one.
Yeah, I mean they are what they are. You know exactly what you're getting basically every time.
Yeah, but I feel the same way about Nightmare on Elm Street, and I fucking love every single one of those, even
Well,
the
it's
bad
because
ones.
with like slasher movies, it's all about the kills and how interesting the kills are. And when the kills happen in a dream world, it gives you a lot of room to maneuver.
That's very true. I mean,
Also,
I also like the fucking all the Friday the 13th joints, and those kills are usually kind of boring.
oh, even Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh,
You
Jason Goes to
remember
Hell
that one?
so bad. Oh man, I have the fucking box set. I got them all, baby.
Oh,
Wasn't there
and
also Jason Goes to
the
Space?
space one
Yeah, Jason
was
X.
Jason
amazing.
X, okay.
Yeah.
Where they trap them in a simulation filled with promiscuous teenagers to distract them, and he literally shoves one in a sleeping bag and just wails it against a tree
Yes,
trunk.
yes. Oh man, that's some good shit. Favorite kill in Friday the 13th out of all of them is the one where the dude's like in the shitter because he ate some bad enchiladas and he just gets stabbed through the portage on.
Wait, was that the Rob Zombie one?
No, it was Friday the 13th part 7.
Oh,
It's
Friday the 13th. I'm sorry.
Friday the 13th. Yeah, it's the same dude that's in Return of the Living Dead that gets killed. Like the like Spanish black dude. I'm not 100% sure.
My favorite one, I think it's part 5, where he traps a kid in a video game, like in Mario, and then controls it so that like Tetris blocks fall on them and kills her, and he just says, "Whoa, I got the new high score."
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that's a
the
good.
that's
That's
the
a
Elm Street, right?
that's an Elm Street. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. Elm Street went really crazy with it because when like you said, when you can do shit in a dream, it gets really out of control. Um yeah, Pay the Ghost is gonna be bad, guys. I'm glad we're talking about good horror movies. I don't know if this is really it's
I think
it
it's being
sounded like
listed
a
as
horror mystery.
it's a thriller supernatural horror film according to Wikipedia.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, the parts I've seen, I am not optimistic.
Well, you
Um
know it comes out in like a month and a half, right?
Renfield.
Renfield, hell yeah.
Are we going to be reviewing that like day and date?
I think we should because that's a movie that I have been waiting for.
I'm down to review Fresh Cage as it comes out, just as a matter of course.
I don't have a problem with that, but we'll have to circle back around to Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent though, to catch us up.
Well, I mean, there's also been 2 more since that. There's been Butcher's Crossing in the Old
Oh,
Way.
yeah, the bad Western movie, right?
The one where Nick Cage claims he was almost killed by the horse that he worked with.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Old Way. Yeah.
No, that's Butcher's Crossing.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, we should get back to like Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent because I have been meaning to watch that because
I've been
I
holding
will
off on it.
watch I will watch anything with Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, and he's been in the discourse recently because of prestige TV stuff.
Well,
So,
yeah.
have you guys watched any of the Last of Us stuff?
Oh fuck no.
I watched Ben Shapiro's meltdown on it.
Oh yeah, he was really upset they had a gay episode, and
Yeah,
he was
he was
like,
mad about the gay.
I'm severely disinterested in it for 2 main fucking reasons. They did that self-serious, self-important bullshit where they're like, it's not a zombie show, it's about the humans. Which, like, what the fuck do you think zombie movies are about? And
Yeah, they've always been about the humans.
Yeah, they've always been about the humans, and they also apparently had that same the Z word was off limits on set. They always had to be the infected. They're not zombies. Which jerk off motion.
Let them be zombies.
I honestly it does always bother me when something is set in like, relatively close to reality, like normal life, and nobody has read a book where this stuff was in. Like, I don't know if you guys watched Midnight Mass.
No,
No.
I haven't gotten around to it. I've been meaning to because it's like super fucking Catholic, and
It's
as a recovering Catholic, I'm contractually obligated to watch horror that's super fucking Catholic.
I did genuinely enjoy the show, but what drove me nuts the whole time to the point of really pissing me off is I'm like, nobody has read any vampire book in this universe. Do they not exist in this universe? Are people really dumb? like because it's like it's one of those buildups, like where you
Mhm.
know the nobody realizes what's going on until it is far too late. But all of it is like vampire shit. Like you don't even have the comic relief character being like, this seems like vampire shit, right?
Yeah,
Maybe that's
like
one of the things I found refreshing about Season of the Witch, where you're like, yeah, I don't like I at this point I don't think witches are real, and then you get to a point you're like, no, all this witch shit, this is definitely a witch, and we need to kill her. At least that
Yeah,
accepts that
you.
there's source material in the world.
Yeah, when you
yeah.
get to a part like that, it's like the thing that I always go back to is to why. All right, Fast and the Furious, it's off the rails at this point.
Oh, I think that
We
might have
know-
also been the same cinematographer as Season of the Witch. I did mean to mention that as well.
But in the later movies, I think it's Tyrese is the guy from the second movie who like stuck around and he's like in their crew now. His whole thing is that he now believes that he is invincible because he is the main character of a movie. It was like a whole side plot of the last Fast and Furious. When they like went into space, they're like, you need to go into space. And he's like, yeah, fuck it. I'll do it. I can't die. And like,
See,
that's his rationale.
I have
And
not watched those films.
watch them because they're phenomenal.
The only thing I know about Fast and Furious that drives me nuts is that Ludacris is an actor who plays in the film, but Ludacris music exists in the universe of the films as well.
Don't
No,
think
that
on it too
rules. That fucking rules. What are you talking about?
hard.
That's awesome.
I'm
don't
not
think on
saying-
these things so much. The only
And
ones
Confirmed, it was the same DOP as Season of the Witch that did Fast and the Furious.
Good
nice.
lord.
The only ones meant to be taken seriously is Fast and the Furious and Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Okay.
Fast and Furious.
Listen, Tokyo Drift is the best one. I will die on that hill.
It is. It's got the best theme song. They go Fast and Furious. I love it.
They took a lesson from the Mortal Kombat song
Yeah, basically.
Yes.
where you say the name of the thing, and that's most of the song. All right. Yeah, I think we can put a bow on this one. Season of the Witch. If you
Yeah,
want a buddy,
we got there after talking about Fast and Furious slasher movies and dick pills.
hey, like I said, the end of this movie ran up on us real quick, but we made it work. Watch Season of the Witch if you want a buddy cop movie set during the Crusades, or if you just like Ron Perlman. You will not hate this film if you like Ron Perlman.
Don't take dick pills. Don't do it.
No. We're not here to give medical advice, but this isn't even medical advice. Just don't do that. And join us next time for when we see how badly Pay the Ghost hurts all of us psychically, because I'm anticipating pain personally, but we'll see. Maybe we'll be surprised. I don't think we will, but either way, we will get through it. In the meantime, you can find us on social media. We're on Twitter at cagefight_pod. We have a Patreon that Rich is going to tell you the link to.
Patreon.com/Nick Cage Fight. $3 a month will get you every single episode with no commercials, as well as I joked about it last time, but I actually am looking at like specialized merchants on like Etsy to get a hold of, to be like, hey, if you give me a discount on like 20 of these things, I will buy them and I'm going to send them to Patreon people, and just give me your business card and I'll put it in. And I have 2 people who are interested. So if you sign up for Patreon, you're going to get some free stuff like real soon. But if you want to wait, I'll let you know when I get something, and I'll post it. I'll be like, this is what it is. Sign up for Patreon. This is what you get.
It's going
What
to
are
be
you
dick
thinking,
pills.
like fucking dick pills?
No. So the best thing I saw so far was a stack of Nick Cage postcards.
Ooh, those would be cool.
Yeah, like they were like specialized ones. I think I saw one that was like from Leaving Las Vegas that was very cool. So
Interesting.
I think we gotta have to fucking review Leaving Las Vegas before that then.
maybe,
Otherwise, our
but
listeners
not-
will not know.
but not before we review The Wrestler, which we will be doing
Oh, coming very soon.
coming very soon.
Also,
to
Bad Lieutenant.
Patreon.
Yes,
That
Bad
that
Lieutenant.
might actually be coming very soon, though.
It's all coming very soon. Trust us. You
Everything
can
is
trust us.
Everything is in the works.
Yes. as always. All right. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Pay the Ghost next time. Patreon, social media. Thanks for listening. And as always, we appreciate you.
Bye-bye.